Hi YouTube, Joseph GT2 here. I've noticed that there's a lack of people teaching how to play marching snare drum online, and I've sort of taken it upon myself, having played for several years now, to maybe show people out there a few things. So this is the first of several videos to come, and today I'm just going to teach you basics: how to hold a stick, how to move your wrist, um, basic things that you need to get started. So first off, um, sticks. You get what's specifically a marching snare stick. These are called Vic Firth Ralph Hardimans. Right there, you can see it. This is a very popular stick. Some drummers don't like it. There's many brands out there, many sticks, but make sure you get a marching snare stick. This right here is a drum pad. You can pick up any drum pad. I suggest what is called an Evans Real Feel. And those are all you need to get started. And just, if you pick up those two things, you can get those, just a small pad and sticks. You can probably spend 20 bucks. It's not too expensive to get into, right? It's not bad. So after you have those, let's just assume you go out and you buy your sticks and your pad. So first things first, you need to learn how to hold a stick. Now, I had a really cool drum instructor. It was a lot of fun, and he told me it was your picker and your flicker, like you pick your nose, right? So you take your picker, your index finger, and you're going to want to go about a third of the way up the stick, like this, right about here, and you place it on the stick. You take your flicker, your thumb, and bring it just around the other side. I'll let you guys get a good view there. And you take these other three fingers and you wrap around the stick, okay? Now notice I'm cradling the stick. I'm not keeping it tight against me, and that is very important. I was also taught to keep this gap closed, so you can see, if you observe my grip, the stick naturally sort of goes into this little open region right here in my hand, and that's how you hold a stick. Now this is your right hand. Your right hand is normal, also known as match grip. Alright? Right hand, this way. Your left hand is slightly different. So you want to take your palm, right, and you're going to want to lay it out flat like this. Okay? And then you take the stick and you go find the point that's about a third of the way up, and you put it right in here, right here, between your thumb and your index finger. I like to go about to where the American flag is on a Vic Firth stick, if you want to buying a Vic Firth stick, just like this, okay? So you're letting the stick rest, just like that. Now you take the stick, and you're going to put it on this little cuticle of your ring finger. This is on your left hand. Your left hand only. Your right hand is the grip I showed you earlier. Now, you put it on the cuticle right there. So far, you should look like this. Now you take your index finger, and you want your index and your thumb around the stick like this. So it's resting on your cuticle between your ring finger and your middle finger, and these two fingers are on the stick. Now your middle finger should be on the stick. Okay, you don't want it straight out and you don't want it clawed like this. You want it on the stick. Now, you know how to hold a traditional grip. I'll just give you a good view. I'll rotate it a bit so you can see where I have it on my hand, and my pinky just comes up right underneath. That's where you should be keeping it. This is called traditional grip, and with traditional grip, that is how we play on marching snare drums. So just to review, you can go back in the video if that was too fast for you, of course. Remember, picker and flicker a third of the way up the stick and wrap around on your right hand, okay? And make sure you're cradling it on your left hand, a third of the way up the stick. Put it in between, put it on your cuticle on your ring finger, between your ring finger and your middle finger. Have your index finger and your thumb around the stick like that. I prefer to have my thumb right on this joint right here, this knuckle, and your middle finger should just be resting on the stick. So you should look like this. They're supposed to look different. A lot of people think that both hands are this way. That's wrong. You see this? This is dead wrong. That's not good. Your right hand should be this way. Now I know how to hold a stick. So now that you know that, we can get on how to use a stick. Now the basic principle behind drumming, just single strokes with your right, the whole thing about drumming is it's all in the wrist, okay? You do not want to use your arm, because if you're expecting to play stuff like that, and you're trying to just move only your arms, it's not going to work, because your wrists are naturally faster than your arms. If you just take your wrist, this looks really stupid, I know. You can move your wrists much faster like this than you can move your arms, right? Now, these sticks are your instruments. The sticks are your instruments. So it's all in the wrist. So you have that grip, right? And all you're doing is you're rotating your wrist, and you're letting the stick not fall. You're not pushing the stick down, you're pushing it a little bit and letting it fall into the drum pad. And then if you notice, my fingers are all on the stick. Always keep your fingers on, and the stick will naturally come back up into your hand. It'll want to come back up. This is what we call rebound. If you notice, if I just let the stick fall like that, it keeps bouncing. That rebound is pushing the stick back up, because this is made of gum rubber. Drum heads on marching snares are made of typically carbon fiber, Kevlar, stuff like that, right? So they're going to give you a lot of bounce. That's going to help you a lot. So notice, this is with my right hand. All you're doing is you're keeping your fingers on the stick, keeping your fingers loose but on the stick, and you rotate your wrists, and you let it come back up into your hand. And if you just get used to this, if you would just sit there for a while, just doing this is all drumming is. And all we do is mix up this pattern. Whether it's what we 2 on the same hand, 3 on the same hand, right? And you can use that rebound in your fingers to control the speed of the stick. Okay? That is with your right hand. So all you're doing is rotating your wrist with your right hand. Now your left hand, notice I'm keeping it here so I can exaggerate that I'm moving mostly just my wrist. My arm is barely moving. Now with your left hand, right, remember this is a special hand where we hold a traditional. Okay, so I'm going to set it up in traditional grip. Now with your left hand, all you're doing the same thing. You're rotating your wrist this way. Okay? This is all you're doing. So, take the stick and you just place the stick in your hand, and it feels weird. And in this case, with your left hand, notice how my arm looks like it's moving. I am not moving my arm up and down. My arm is just rotating, just my forearm, and that's really just my wrist doing all of the work. Okay? So, you're going to want to do the same thing. You're just going to want to rotate your wrist and let the stick come back up. If you let the stick fall, it's still going to have that same rebound, right? Because you're in the sweet spot about a third of the way up the stick. So you let the stick bounce and come back up into your hand. And the thing is, you don't really use your middle finger too much. Don't ever do that, by the way. You want to keep the stick right here. Don't do this and let the stick just go. Now keep your fingers on the stick, because you are supposed to be using this finger. Sorry, that was wrong. This finger and your thumb are controlling the stick as it bounces up and down. Like so. So you're applying pressure with your thumb and index finger as you're pushing the stick down. Right? You're just letting the stick do the work. You're not forcing it, you let the stick do the work. So once you get that down, right? Remember, it's just rotating the wrists. You can put them together, and you're drumming. Now we have these things called exercises that we use, of course, to help us learn. One of the most popular ones is 8 on a hand. 8 on a hand is, as you can guess, 8 notes on each hand. So you take your right hand and you play 8 notes. Take your left hand and do the same thing. Right hand again. Left hand again. Right? Now I prefer to do 4 sets on each hand, so alright, so that is the basics on how to get started on snare drum.